Ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Proceed.
All right. First on the agenda is just an FYI. We did it last year. The Banana Split Group was asking if they can place yellow ribbons on the parking meter for the Banana Split events. I don't think the council didn't have any problem last year. I would be surprised if we have a problem this year, but it's more of an FYI. On the first one on the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Employee handbook. I've given this to the personnel committee a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'd like the council to look at it. It's in its entirety in the packet that I gave you. We don't really have any employee handbook that was ever adopted, and we should have one.
Good idea.
Well, things fall through. I can't speak for the past, but I mean, the thing is, and this is, I'd like everybody to take it. I know it's boring in places. I'd like everybody to try to read it and see if they have any issues. Maybe when we can, have put it for a vote at the next meeting. It's kind of standard. I think I know Zach looked at it. It's a somewhat standard. Believe me, I didn't reinvent the wheel. So it's been tried and true in other places. So anyway, he's laughing because he actually helps apply it to me. So.
Now, when you add things to it, you have people sign off on it, like you would add to the handbook.
We can add the what do you mean by add to the handbook?
If
I had a
you
model
of something you want to put in the handbook in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You have everybody sign
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's going to happen too, because it will happen. I mean, something that we're not perceiving as an issue now.
Right.
Who knows? Something the electronics or something that we never even thought would be an issue.
Right.
Yeah, we would definitely want to do it by
Okay.
resolution.
Yeah, if we're ever, we'll enact it, and then moving forward, if there's ever changes that are required, the city manager will bring it to the council's attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, it happens. We sometimes with the healthcare industry, for example, there's a lot of changes in the laws that it's hard to keep up with. So, yeah. Anyway, that's there. The next is, there's two letters, the last two letters of the packet. This is a request from the Cabaret Group. They are asking, and Ann and Zach can jump into it. What they have done in the past is they submitted architectural drawings, signed architectural drawings, but there was a number of, quite a few changes that had to be done. What the normal procedure is, you then take that back to your architect, you then make those changes, agreed to changes, and you resubmit the drawings with the changes. Well, we never got past the point that there was a number of changes requested, okay, by the commercial code staff. They're asking for us to kind of waive this so that they can get money from the county. I know Ian's talked to the county. I don't believe that, I don't know if it works in your mouth, but if you want to speak to that?
They will fund a project if it's moving forward. They're doing something. So they would actually have to get a permit first before the county would fund the project, and that way they know that it's going to happen. They can't give them money to get a permit.
Well, and what they're doing is, what they're talking about is the county money to do the fire suppression equipment. They could, with the architecture drawings that they had, once they're changed to match the safety requirements that are required, they could go ahead and start to do this and have the fire suppression equipment and architectural drawings approved later. The problem is they want to put the cart before the horse, in my opinion. And I understand it. They wanted their business, they want to open up, and they want to get the theater going. The problem is that I don't think we really have the wiggle room to allow them to go ahead and do anything without having architectural drawings, and we can't give them a permit until they have architectural drawings. We're kind of waiting. There's really not a whole lot we can do. But if you look at the letter, you can see they've asked for some things to be waived, and I want to bring it up to council, although I think that you're running a risk if you do.
What we could, so we're in it's a circular argument essentially. They need funds to prepare a building permit, and the initial building permit would normally include the fire suppression system, but they can't afford to contract an engineer to draft the fire suppression system because they don't have the funds. They can get the funds from the county won't give them the funds until they have a permit. So one thing that I was looking into, and I didn't have a chance to talk with Ann about it because when I was working on it last week, she wasn't in, is that maybe we could issue the building permit on acceptable architectural plans addressing every item with the exception of the fire suppression system, and have the permit essentially be conditioned upon amending the application and plans to include the fire suppression system, and making it clear that it can't be occupied by any person or entity other than the people doing the work, until the fire suppression system has been designed, submitted to the city, reviewed, and approved.
If you think about it, and I agree with what you're saying, and Ann and I have talked about it, the problem is the architectural drawings we have right now are substandard.
Exactly. So
They would have to resubmit
Mhm.
resubmit the architectural drawings to the requirements that, we are obligated by the state to ask for.
Right, we couldn't give them a building permit with nothing underlying it. If we're going to consider even looking at this, conditional permit structure, it would have to be after they've submitted acceptable design plans for the remainder of the structure, and that those be approved by the city. And the only item that would be absent would be fire suppression. And it would be under, there would be, if we're going to do this waiver process, it's going to be in writing. They're going to have to acknowledge that they can't even think about it requesting an occupancy permit until the fire suppression system has been planned and installed. We're giving them a favor here by giving a building permit that addresses everything but fire suppression. So if that's something that council's interested in, we can look at it further. The other thing to keep in mind is that I don't want to rehash the whole email that they sent, but they're also requesting a waiver of fees. And I don't know what those fees would be. I have no idea, but I just wanted to make sure council was aware of that as well.
Will that be good for the county to get their money if we grant that?
Well, if we don't require the permitting fees, whatever they may be, then their price goes down.
If we let them do what you said without the permit, to get the permit, will the county give the money? You said the county won't give the money unless they...
Right, the county will give them a grant if the project is moving, and right now it's not moving. So if they can start to move along with the project if they get this basic building permit, we're thinking.
And the other thing too is Ann talked to the lady in the county, and she said that this money's there. So there's not you don't have to be in a rush to get it. It's going to be there for when the process is completed. And I think that going back to them and saying, look, create repair your architectural drawings to match what is being required, resubmit them, and then we'll go from there. Which is what the process we would have gone through anyway. So it's just, I'm caution against, trying to bend rules because it's a state requirement. We're not. It's not like we're not making this requirement. These are
It's been
state
going on for
codes.
so long, but why is it taking them this long to get to this point?
Well,
What's stolen?
a fire suppression system in a building of this size is apparently approximately $120,000. So for a business that's not operating and is trying to use whatever seed money they have to move forward, $120,000 is an expensive process. And I believe they quoted the design of the fire, so that Advanced Fire Protection is going to do the drawings for the fire suppression system, and it's estimated that those plans are going to cost $38,000 just for the planning. So that's where the county money would come in and help them pay for that.
And the nice thing about that is once they get past that point, Advanced is a company that's reputable, and they'll do architectural drawings that are of the quality that we need. But they have to get to that point, and they seem to be unable to get to that point.
Well, if we can help them and be clear of liability instead of that stopgap of the occupancy permit, I say we try to and work with them?
We can talk to him. I can talk to him and say, here's the thing. Sit down with the commercial code officer, work out the 15 items that he's found that is, an error, an issue, I should say, and then make your changes to the drawings and resubmit. It can't cost that much to submit changes to the drawing, as opposed to issuing all new drawings. And we'll see. I think I don't think we have a whole lot of wiggle room to be too generous without getting ourselves in trouble. All right, everybody's in agreement with that. Last thing is ZAC, quality of life ordinance.
So since I came on board here, it's been at least a year and a half. One of the ongoing concerns has been how to fight blight in the municipality. We have the property maintenance code. We have our zoning code. Man does a great job enforcing it. The problem that a lot of municipal officers run into is that with property maintenance code violations, with zoning, if it's not an issue that's an imminent danger to the public, it can sometimes take months to get the problems addressed. We all know the trouble properties in the municipality and how you have to give a notice, you have to wait a period of time, then you go back, you document the issue, then you do a citation, and then you're waiting a period of time to get to the magistrate's office to try to get a summary offense. What a lot of municipalities in this state are doing, and I'm not going to say a huge amount, but at least 20 to 30 that I've seen, including Allentown, Pottstown. Jeanette has one of these. South Greensburg, I'm preparing one for them, and Irwin as well, I'm preparing one. These ordinances target the same type of violations, but they do not gear enforcement through the magistrate. They deal with it as a ticketing item. So much like a car being parked in the wrong place, or not paying your parking meter, it's an instant violation, and you're subject to a ticket instead of a summary citation. If this is something the city is interested in, we can talk about what the fine amounts are, but first offense anywhere from $25 to $50. Someone calls Ann and says property at 111 Main Street has 18-inch high grass. Ann can go down, and although she wouldn't be required to, she would most likely give them a notice, say, listen, this is, violation of the code. I'm going to come back tomorrow. If it's not cleaned up, it's a ticket. She comes back the next day, she can issue a ticket. She comes back day 2, it's still not abated, she can issue a ticket, and it's going to have a graduated scale going up. And, if they don't respond after 4 or 5 days, then you would go to the magistrate. But the thought process is, and the practice has been, that a lot of property owners, upon getting that first ticket for $25 or $50, it hits home to them, it's real. And they'll remediate the situation, they'll abate the situation. And if they don't pay, then we'll take them to the magistrate for not paying. But it is a tool that other municipalities are using and have seen some success with abating property maintenance issues.
What if we give them a ticket, they clean it up, and a month later, it's back again?
Another ticket. Every day is a violation. Every time goes over from midnight to midnight 01, it's a new ticket if it's not fixed.
It goes back to the entry level, like it's a new incident. So
Yeah, once it's abated. What some municipalities have done is where, it'll have language in there for properties that are, on the hit list every time, that are just continuously in violation, that the code enforcement officer can just skip the tickets and go right to the magistrate. The quality of life ordinances don't remove the other enforcement options that we have. It's just another tool. So it gives the code enforcement officer, the ability to say, listen, if this isn't fixed by tomorrow, I'm going to come by and write you a ticket, and you're going to have to pay it. So if that, we can have it on the agenda next month as a motion item to authorize me to prepare it if you guys think it's necessary. If not, you don't have to do it. But given all of the concern that I've heard over the year and a half for property maintenance issues and blight, thought you guys might be interested.
okay with it?
That sounds like a good idea to me. They talked about that.
The other thing I think might be effective too is, like, if somebody has a second offense, even if they resolve the first one, and now a month later you're going back and you're in the same place,
Yeah.
that it would go up the scale.
Right,
So,
we
like,
could have something in there that says, if it's the same property with the same code violation, same owner, within 45 days, it continues on the graduated scale. Another thing that we can also talk about is what's known as an Act 90 ordinance, which has a variety of remedies in it, but one of which is that if a property owner owns a property in the municipality that is in violation of the municipal code or has back taxes, if they own another property in the municipality, they can't get a building permit or any sort of permit for that other property because their other property is in violation. So it kind of gets people who have a lot of properties in the municipality to keep them all up because they know they can't do anything with one of their properties if another one is in bad shape.
It's a good idea.
That's all we have. Is there anything else?
Hey, Jerry, I know it's not an official meeting. Can we have a moment of silence for Trooper Stewart?
Sure. None of this on.
And speaking of that, the fire companies, the police, it was a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I mean, it was amazing to watch the police from, from Florida, from Texas, from New York, all the different offices. But, I was sitting in one of the intersections and there was 3 or 4 different cars from Allegheny County. It was nice to see the coordinated effort between the ambulance, the fire company, and the police. It's a shame the event had to happen, but it was amazing how well coordinated it was.
Even the guys that set up the signs were out there at like 6:30 in the
Oh,
morning
yeah.
getting ready, yeah.
Yeah, Mike's crew, Mike was off goofing off somewhere, but somewhere like vacation or something.
I was still in.
He was in, yeah. This is the worst vacation he ever had. He was in here just as often as if he was working. But they did an excellent job, and it was quite a coordinated effort. I mean, Skip and the emergency service folks, there was a lot of people involved, and they did a phenomenal job.
See the snipers in the bulletin?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
The Eagles.
I didn't think they were up there working on the roof. That's where somebody was pointing them out to, like, yeah. And I guess it's just, unfortunately.
They're collecting the money for the scholarship program.
What's that?
They're collecting money for a
Oh, are they?
scholarship
Okay.
program, selling T-shirts, which is very nice.
Okay. Yeah.
One last thing, Jerry, congratulate the Latrobe baseball team on being state champions. We forgot to do that last meeting.
High school team.
Yes.
They were in the trade. Yeah, that was nice.
Anything else? Anybody have anything else for good of the order?